Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the State of the Shack. Out of focus edition. Well, we got a little bit to cover today. As you can see, there's the Rhino. That's another thing we're covering today. Gravity. Rhino has new shoes on it. Well, new. Yeah, I got a set of used tires for $80. All four. With crusty, rusty rims. As you can see, these tires aren't the best at holding their air. That one, the bead came loose again, of course. As did this rear one. But that's what you get for paying $80 for tires, I guess. Let's see. Let's go down the line what we got going on. Well, if you notice, it's a bit more open in here. There's the Rhino. There's the back of the shed. The green golf cart has sold, thankfully. I was tired of looking at that thing and tired of dancing around it. So now I have the Rhino here, yellow golf cart, and open floor space. I guess we'll... Elephant in the room. This pole, what's it for? Why has it got an eyelet on it? Well, I went fishing. If you can't tell from the peeling and sunburn. And it was super windy. Well, down here in South Louisiana, there isn't anything for an anchor to grab but grass and mud. So I was throwing my anchor and drifting. Moving forward, throwing my anchor, drifting. Moving forward, throwing my anchor, drifting. Could never pull anything up but mud, could never actually hang up. A friend of mine had almost the same thing, except his was, commercial. He had a stainless steel pole about yay long with an eye on the end of it. It's called a cage and anchor. They have them in the store. They're about $120. Well, I'm cheap. This is a free galvanized pipe and a free eyelet with 2 bolts on it. Cage and anchor. Yeah, it's going to rust, but you know what? It'll be worth it. Free is better than $120. Just look at my quality tires. Alright, another thing. This is probably the first time ever witnessed on YouTube. Not 1, but 2 desks are clean. Isn't that lovely? I even cleaned up here, cleaned the floor. I cleaned the floor because, as you can see, it kind of slopes down and drops off down that way. That floor collapsed. So I'm getting ready to have to repair that again. Back here is about the same, minus the golf cart. I went by the local salvage store and they were selling soft drinks. Don't hate. They're actually pretty good. They're like a cream soda with a little spice to it. Tastes nothing like a king cake, but I mean, they were cheap. I almost bought a pallet of them. I got a dirty look when I came through the register with all of those. They were like, come on, man. Really, that's about it. I mean, yeah, I've cleaned up in here. I still need to go through the top here. Go through some of that. But that's really about it. As far as the State of the Shack goes, I went fishing the last 2 weekends. Maybe this coming weekend I might go fishing again. Oh wait, no, this coming weekend I got work. And then that Sunday, there's the Irish-Italian parade, which that's going to. As ugly as it is. Maybe the next week I get paid, and then maybe I'll go fishing, maybe I'll bring y'all along. I almost brought y'all along in the last one, but it had been quite disappointing. I went out, it was like a 40-mile-an-hour wind out on the Gulf. Front just passed, so that was not working for us. There was no tide, that was not helping us. And it was super high pressure, like high air pressure, whatever. And that was not helping us. Between 2 boats and 5 people, we caught a grand total of 6 fish in 8 hours. And a sunburn. The fish we caught was 1 croaker, about from the end of yonder pole to there. And threw him back. Caught a trout, a single trout that was about 20 inches long, so end of the pole to there. Caught a drum that was about 30 inches long. He was nice looking, full of worms and edible. Caught a redfish about 28, 29 inches long, full of worms and edible. Caught a sheep's head. Well, you can't eat it, but it's full of bones. And caught a stingray, inedible. That was the grand total. I think that was 6 fish. If there was one more in there, it was like another sheep's head or something, or another croaker. That was it. And the other boat I went with are experienced fishermen. They go all the time. They go way more than I wish I could. So, that was kind of disappointing. Really? That's about it. I gotta go buy a whole bunch of tire slime and tire sealant and see if I can get these things to work. When I first put air in them, they held air for like 5 days, but this cold snap hit, and now they're like, nope. Especially these back ones. You would not believe the trouble they were to switch. That's something I should have done a video how to swap ATV tires, because I know plenty of people do it. I guess specs on these, because I will be riding with them, even if I have to air them up every hour. Because I mean I paid $80 and I went through way too much work to try and take those off and put the old ones back on. But these are 26 by 10 by 12s in the front. And these are Maxxis Bear Claws or something like that, or some kind of bear claw. I don't even remember the brand name of them, I just remember Bear Claw. They are Kenda Bear Claw. And the rears are 26 12 12. So it's a foot across on the back there. When they're aired up, they swell up a bit this way too, but as you can see, they're not holding air. Otherwise, the Rhino's running good. The winch works good. Last time I took it out, I didn't have to use it. Even with the bald tires, I didn't get stuck. I tried to get stuck one time. Didn't. Couldn't pull anyone out, though. I had no traction. One thing that did fail is when I went out, the rear brakes, I think I said this before, but I don't know. The rear brake cylinder back here failed. It started leaking out where the parking brake goes. The parking brake mechanical actuator thing. So I just took that out because it was made poorly. And I just put a block across the back of it. So now at least I have service brakes. No parking brake, which the one that was on there anyway was a joke. So you just park it with the wheels turned to the side or against a tree or something. Or in the case of the spillway, if you're pulling someone out, you have to stand on the brakes. Yellow golf cart. Eventually I think I'm going to recover the seat. You can see how it's kind of crusty there. I have painted some of it, if you can tell. But there's still some rust right along the edge of my finger there. Right there. That I want to rub off and then coat. I want to fix the bed of it. The bed's kind of crusty. It's got some holes in it. Wouldn't mind making a new part here and some headlights for this thing. So you can see a better of the rust yonder. So you can see the holes over there and the crust over here. Tailgate doesn't shut right because it's bent. I want to straighten all that out. Another thing you see is I have a hammer on the seat. For some reason, if you know anything about this, let me know, because I'm dumbfounded by it. The shifter, when you shift to either way, all the contacts are good. I've already checked them. The little piezo sensors are all good. I've checked it. It won't make connection. You can press the pedal all you want. The solenoid never engages until you hit that with a hammer or your fist. Just smack it, and then all of a sudden it works in the direction you want to go. Have any idea why that is? Let me know, because it's intermittent. Like tomorrow I get on, it might work just fine. But today, just with the cold snap, it hadn't been working. Don't know why. It's just the way it is. I did recently check the battery water since I started using this, and I used about a half a gallon between all the batteries, but granted I never checked them when I installed them, so they were probably low from factory. That's about it. I mean, I cleaned up everything in here, got rid of the other golf cart. That was a fiasco trying to sell. I had 30 people that wanted to come get it, and 29 people didn't show up. So the last guy that showed up offered me less money than I wanted, but he showed up, so he got the grand prize. I'm not happy about. I only made maybe $100 profit off of it, which is profit still, but by my standards, that's terrible. Normally, my profit margin's quite better. More better. Much better. Improved. Whatever. Like, say, if. It's not going to happen anytime soon. If I were to sell this, this would be only strictly profit because I got this thing for $600. It's getting windy. It means it's getting colder. Yes, in March in South Louisiana, it is, I think, 58 degrees in here right now. I haven't checked, but it's supposed to get down in the 40s tonight here. Fahrenheit, so that's like, what, like 5 degrees Celsius or something? 8 degrees Celsius? It's actually supposed to be frost on the North Shore. It's only, 70 miles from here. But, that's about it for this state of the shack. I am slowly cleaning and clearing things out because I guess in the dead of summer, when it's 120 degrees outside, we're going to replace or rebuild this whole building. Supposedly, they keep telling me. But we're up to, I think, 6 kickstands, and tomorrow I'm going to be adding another. So we got one there, we have one there, we have one there, one here, one there. And tomorrow, I'm going to be adding one back here, because you can see how the roof comes down and then goes back up. Right here is collapsing. Right where my toolbox is, so I've got to move all this out the way. You can see how the floor is different here, and it drops off back there, it drops off there. This is a house door underneath the floor because the floor collapsed. You can see, well, you can't really see, but you see this piece of plywood, how it's cornered there, and then it goes down? That used to be set in to the threshold there, and it's pushed its way out. There's nothing there. If you look, see that piece of plywood outside? That used to be where this one was in the threshold. So that whole threshold's collapsed and all the wood's fallen out. And then this is almost not touching because the wall's falling away from it. So I got to take this cabinet out, or I'm going to move it out and put a kickstand in. Hold this part of the roof up. And then recently, with the last windstorm we had, that's outside. That's all outside out there. This wall with the last windstorm, I guess, must have been moving in and out, and it fell. So it's only up there right now because it's leaning against that kickstand, which is holding the roof, basically this whole side up. So yeah, I think it's time for a building. I mean, basically the termites have this entire building like that. So, South Louisiana termites are unforgiving. But that's the life we live, I guess. So, if you made it this far, awesome. Please subscribe. I need the subscribers so I can get paid for this stuff again. And have an awesome time.